Hello everyone. Welcome back to the session with Nstar Technologies. Today we are talking about networking in tech industry, many tips for newcomers, how to connect with professionals, find mentorships, and also building your network through using LinkedIn and other platforms. As always, we have Dr. Nnamdi here with us to, break down and give us, the info we need to answer the questions. So yeah, let's get to it. I would say first things, why is networking so important in the tech industry?
Well, networking is really powerful, not just in tech generally, especially for career and career advancement. The one big reason is a lot of job opportunities are not posted. There's a lot of unposted job opportunities. There are a lot of job opportunities that will get posted after, like they get the companies will share it internally first with their staff, with their team before it's posted publicly. So they'll let you know, like, hey, this is going to. I used to work for a company. I've worked with a few companies where I've seen this happen, where they will email us first and say, hey, because if you're already working, you understand the culture, who will be a good fit for the company and all of that. So they let the employees know first about job openings before it goes public, right? They always give employees like a first right of um, refusal or whatever, in terms of that. So the benefit of networking is if you're connected to somebody who's already inside, who already has opportunities at their company, right? They give you that first, you get opportunities where they're not unposted opportunities, right? I can, talk about a couple of jobs I've gotten in the past where I never applied to them, right? It's people who knew about an opening reached out. In fact, one randomly reached out me on LinkedIn because he followed my page and he, always saw the things I talked about, liked my profile. So he reached out to me like, hey, are you open to relocating? We'll have a job with my company. It's not posted yet, but I can get you an interview. And that's the other part is internal referrals always get preference when it comes to interview slots, right? If a recruiter randomly reaches out to you and just starts talking to you, random recruiter call, you have to go through every step. Recruiter has to like you. If that goes well, then they move you to hiring manager. Hiring manager has to like you. And then if they like you, then they can move you to the technical interview stage. So that's all the tiers you have to go through. You can skip that with an internal referral with when somebody refers you for a position, right? It's almost like they are vouching for you. So now you skip recruiter and even possibly hiring manager, right? Because now the hiring manager knows who is referring you. They know, okay, hey, Nnamdi works with me. I trust his judgment. Let's talk to do the main interview. And if those guys like you, then that's it. So it's networking is a fast track to interviews, the fast track to it. One, it gives you opportunities it exposes you to opportunities that might not necessarily be posted yet. There's jobs that are not listed that are open. The openings that are not yet public. It expedites your path to an interview because of those internal referrals. And there's you even I got a gig one time and even my interview was so easy because I came highly referred, right? The person who I knew, and this is another part, it's your network is your net worth. When they say that, it means something. It doesn't translate literally to your bank account, but it means you can make a ton of money or you can get a ton of you have a ton of leverage with the right network, especially in the career part, right? So I worked with a guy several years earlier, and again, you never know when you do a good job with somebody what that means. So we had a relationship. We didn't really have a relationship. We just had a working relationship several years ago. But fast forward to this almost 4 or 5 years down the line, he owned his own company and he was consulting for this, another organization as the database, architect, whatever. So they were the ones managing the infrastructure. The company needed to hire somebody in-house. And he was like, hey, there's this guy I worked with several years back. I can bring him in. Because so we had a good working relationship then, he pretty much said, hey, come. He really told the company, this is the guy I want to work in there. So I'll be the liaison with him. And so my interview was more, oh, okay, this guy talked about you highly. What do you want? Name your price. It was literally price. Uh, and to that point,
Wow.
the most money I had made, in terms of a job opportunity. And it was the easiest interview. So again, networking, that's the power of your network. And so there's unlimited benefits to networking, to just to the opportunities available to you when you connect with people is limit. You don't know who you're going to meet. You need to be in circles where, especially you're looking to break into database administration, into tech, and you don't have any tech people in your network. Um, you're missing out on so many opportunities, right? Networking, how do you stay in touch with what's trending? Right? For us, if you're already in the field, how do you know what's new, what people are using in their own company? How do you know where to upskill? Right? It's networking. It's through networking I realized, okay, there's a demand for this thing. It's beginning to become a big thing. Let me go start learning that before it's something I need to do. It's been active in forums. It's people think networking you have to meet people and shake hands. You don't, right? Being involved in forums and networks and online communities, maybe not WhatsApp groups, but I've not been WhatsApp groups. But you get what I mean. So you can actually be active in those type of platforms, be engaged, and that's where people know that somebody knows that this is what you are looking for, what you're about, and it opens up a ton of opportunities. So networking is, I can talk about networking like all day because of how value there is, especially in terms of for people who are looking to get started, because that's our focus is people who are newcomers into tech, right? For you looking to break into tech, um, you have to be connected to other tech people, physically or virtually, but there has to be that connection. You can't be trying to navigate your journey in isolation because you really don't know what you don't know. And when you're trying to go solo, what you're doing is you're creating the curriculum for yourself and studying. But how do you know that what you're investing in is relevant to what the market is looking for? You're not measuring the market. You're not measuring opportunities. You don't know, okay, do I know anybody who works in this field that I'm looking to get into? What does it look like? Right? If you don't know, that means you don't have expectations. When you go to your interview, I can tell clearly when you're talking to somebody that, hey, this is foreign to you, you're new to this. And how do I bridge that gap of inexperience for a newcomer? It's by constantly talking to people and learning what they are doing, right? Listening to, okay, this is what it feels like in my environment. This is how it feels. This is what my day-to-day looks like. You're not going to know what the day-to-day feels like if you don't know anybody who is doing this on a day-to-day basis. So there's so many benefits to being intentional about networking. So that's I don't know if I answered the question. I feel like I've gone all over the place in the
Yeah,
end.
you did.
So I'll let you.
Just straight note from that. What would you say are like the common mistakes that, let's say, anyone that is new to tech entering in terms of networking? What would be the common mistakes they usually make when trying to build their network?
Well, no, the first one is not networking at all, right? They just go, I want to get into tech. And they get it. Now, there's always some form of networking to start. You're either taking a course, maybe taking a class somewhere, some training. That's typically the foundation for most people. But a lot of trainings now are so dissociated, right? So you can
Mm.
a whole cohort, a whole training, and never meet anybody, right? Never interact with, even if it's a live class, right? Even for live classes because of virtual, because the virtual option exists now, I can go through a class and not interact with anybody, not make any meaningful relationships or connections, do my 2 months, 3 months without training and go. and think that that's sufficient. And a lot of people will blame the school or the trainer or that they didn't get anything out of the program, right? But you have to, one key mistake I see people make is doing that. It's just not being intentional about connecting. And that's one of the expectations we set in class, right? Is that first like leverage, you see it in those my initial slides. Leverage your network. This is your first network. The people you are meeting in this program are your colleagues, they're your co-workers. That's one thing we're big on, right? At Ensa Technologies, even beyond training, we still put them in one place so that there's communication and interaction going on because one person is going to go first. One person is going to get a job first, and then might be that one that opens the doors for the other people, right? It's people who have gone ahead and the alumni saying, "Hey, opportunities exist. Who do you know?" So the first mistake people would make is not being intentional about networking, even when they're already in the water, but they refuse to swim. They refuse to, reach. That's a big, big mistake is no intentionality about networking. They don't even consider it as, okay, I need to get close or not even get close, but I need to work with the people I'm in class with. I need to go out more. I need to be in forums. There's no thought around networking. That's the first mistake. You want to get into tech, but you're not even thinking that I need to connect. Even when you are in forums or platforms, you don't engage. And that's the other one. You're not engaging. Again, still going back to intentionality, you're not intentionally engaging with people in your space to actually form networks. The other one I would say is I would say it's more around your overzealous, right? Because I know okay, I want to network and opportunities. And so now I am a parasite to everybody I meet. Yeah, some people now over. So that's the opposite of the first one, where you are like over networking, right? Your everybody you talk to is, oh, opportunities. Do you have a job in your company? Da 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 da. No, it has to be organic, right? People don't know what are the tips on networking. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? Make meaningful connections. Let people think about you because I'm meeting you for the first time, right? We meet at a meetup group or something. I might not have anything for you at the time. I may not. But even if I have something, what will make me offer it to you is if I vibe with you, if I like you, if I feel like you do. So it's people are all about the goal, right? I want to get an interview, I want to get a job, instead of actually making meaningful connections, right? Connecting at a professional level should be the priority, not do you have any openings? Where do you
Yeah,
work? Okay,
yeah.
are you hiring? Okay, just this is my resume. You know, it's forceful, it's not organic, and you're likely not go. People will might not call you back or they want to forget. If they remember you, it's not for the right reasons, right? It's you don't want to be that guy too forceful. So being too forceful or too, aggressive and egregious about your objectives, it should be about intentional connection. And then another mistake people make is they don't see the need, they don't give value in that relationship. So I've connected to you, right? I'm in a group, I'm in a forum, I'm in a meeting, and I'm just there. It's networking. I've met you, but I haven't showcased my ability. Again, it's possible to overdo this as well, where you want to hijack every conversation. I don't know if I'm sure you've been in this situation before, where there's one person who wants to answer every question. They want to raise their hand every time. They want to talk all the time. They are over showing, that you can clearly tell this person has an agenda for being here. Your agenda shouldn't be, people should know that you are in the market. People should know that this is what you do. But your agenda of I want to get an interview today, or I want to show that I'm the best, I'm the smartest database person in the room, people should naturally again see that from when you say something, it should be because when you force yourself into conversations that don't necessarily involve you, it's off-putting one, and you might end up not making sense. You don't, even if you do make sense, people will acknowledge your intelligence but might not want to work with you. Right. And so that's a mistake. Especially people they've been studying, they've been reading, they want to show the world that they know what they're doing. And so every meeting, every room, they're eager to raise their hand, be in front. They want to know there's a strategy, there needs to be some, again, it should be organic to an extent, right? If you're in forums, it's not every, if you don't feel like this is your realm, don't comment on everything. If it's something you're knowledgeable about, leave it alone, right? Don't feel the need to jump into every conversation. Don't feel the need to always let your voice be heard. Speak to things that are your strengths, right? You want, because it's you're promoting yourself, so you don't want to do it wrongly. In the bid to self-promote, you jeopardize yourself, by showing the world that you're in all that, right? Usually that was egregious. Because again, if especially when you're in the room with experts, um, it's that whole. And this is not networking. This is not a networking example. But when I first started, I went for interviews, right? I think I can remember like one or two interviews that I wasn't quite ready yet, but I went in there and I didn't know some things that I didn't know, but I was eager to go out and try my luck because I was desperate at the time. And I can tell you right now that those interviews, I can imagine what those guys were thinking about me when the call was done because I was aggressive, I was going for it, and I was clearly talking rubbish, right? Totally talking nonsense. Because I had to say something, and it's almost the same thing that happens to people when you feel the need to speak for just because I have to talk. I have to let them know I'm here. I have to make a point. And that's a common mistake people make when you're trying to network, when you're in forums or rooms with people. Choose your moments, choose your moments. Make sure it's something, hey, I can speak to this. Don't fly under the radar. Obviously, that doesn't do you any good. But don't be in every conversation. Don't be a talkative. Don't be when the moment arises that you feel like I can own this, go out there and show your strength, own it. When the moment arises where you can show that this is something you do, this is what I do, go and show them this is what I do. And if it's not your question, leave it alone. If someone does, in fact, let's say you even know something, but Femi, you started talking first before me, and you're making sense, right? I don't have to come back and repeat the things you said to say it differently, which is what some people do, right? Somebody's already giving an opinion and they decide, I'm going to come and show just, if there's something you said, maybe you missed the point or there's a perspective I can bring, sure, bring that, right? If there's something I can add to build on what you've said, absolutely. But if it's just me forcing because I have to say something, even though Femi has clearly said everything I intend to say, right? you know, even in fact, even if they call you, you don't even have to go. You're like, what, I agree with what Femi said. That was an excellent answer. It's, if you have examples to support it, good. But don't start repeating the same everything, right? Right. What I'll do, that's what I'll do is like instead of repeating everything you said, like I agree with Femi, I was working on this thing yesterday and we dealt with the exact situation. And just like Femi said, I was able to do that and it worked. So I co-signed everything he said is absolutely correct. It's worked for me. You see, like I didn't try to steal your thunder or talk over what or maybe just repeat everything you said in different English. No, it's more, I was able to say this is how my own experience with this, but I'm in agreement. So again, don't be annoying in that whole, even with, and this is both for physical meetings or physical settings or even virtual settings. I've been in where you can ask a question in a group. I mean, a lot of these forums, right, for whether it's business or career or even tech and somebody can ask a question and somebody gives an answer and then somebody jumps in the same comment, exact same steps that somebody just 2 comments ago gave. You are repeating it. Why? Because you want to show up in the comment or what? You go to some places, some people answer every post in the group. They respond to why you don't have to, right? You don't have to, when that need to say something can be off-putting. So those are some of the common mistakes I'll say people make when they do networking.
Okay, okay. We also talked about the topic also mentorship. So can you clarify the difference between like mentorship and then regular connecting and getting networking career partners in the field?
Again, when as a mentor is somebody who's showing you who's been there before and trying to show you a path. So networking can help you identify mentors or a mentor for your career. Um, and there are some formal structured mentorship. People have mentors that they're paying, or they're in programs that have mentorship and it's paid, where you can ask questions, but a mentor-mentee relationship is one where, this person is acting as your compass in a sense, in terms of making sure that you are on the right path in your career. You're in between making a decision for maybe between two jobs. They're like, hey, these are the things you should consider. When you're going through your application process, these are the considerations you should have. When you're speaking to recruiters, this is how you should approach it, this is how you should negotiate. That's a mentor's role, right? And so as you network, those are you're potentially identifying a mentor in there. So that's a relationship that can be born from networking. And mentors are extremely important, because again, you don't know what you don't know. The parts, no matter how much that's why again, through our programs, we always encourage people we encourage our students as they finish to stay on within the community, right? To be part of our support sessions, because then we can continue to now play that mentor role. We're not just educating and coaching and training. We continue to now be like a compass for you, a sounding board for your questions, because you're going to have those questions even when you start working. When I first started working, I had never, this was in my first gig, right? In not 2010, but 2012. I got I've never used a docking station with multiple computer screens, right? So that was something that I needed to. I called someone like, hey, what do I do with this, right? As simple as that. Having somebody to reach out and like, I'm about to act a fool here. Just what should I do? A quick picture. This is what's going on. Oh, this is what you should do. It's simple. That's a mentor's role, and you need them, formal or informal. There, at some point you get to certain levels, and you might have to pay to have that one-on-one attention with somebody. If I'm in a place where I'm pursuing millions of dollars or something, it's what it pay 100K. Like people will sign checks for 30,000 to have an hour conversation. But I'm about to talk to somebody who has done deals in billions, and I pay right pursuing $100 million deal, and somebody says my fee to consult me for 30 minutes is 30,000. I've seen people do that. And they pay again. I haven't done that. I'm not quite um, I'm not dollars just yet. Get them. Um, a relationship where, hey, because I know the value, I've seen, I was listening to somebody, again, one of the people I follow, and I'll call them mentors for me virtually, in business. I say he wrote a check for 100 and something thousand to have an hour meeting with somebody. But what comes out of that meeting, right? I've seen people go into mentorship programs where they're paying, 100K subscription a year, 120K a year for subscription, but these guys are building seven, eight-figure business. So the higher you go, the higher the demands, because the people you need, their time is not, they're not going to be like at your beck and call to just, their time is precious and valuable. And if you want their attention, you might need to pay for it. So it's at every stage of life, mentors are relevant. And for the person looking to get into tech, again, don't try to go solo. Make sure you're connecting, make sure you're in the community. I don't care how smart you are and how much you can absorb. You can read and study, self-study and learn by yourself. Those are helpful, but there are nuances around the game the job that you can't navigate if nobody's showing you the ropes. You'll go in and be shocked, right? It's like, hey, I didn't know this is how it was. So network, the mentorship, guidance, they're all super important and super relevant.
Okay, okay. So what would you say the most effective way for people who are coming in to get these networking and mentoring opportunities?
Most effective ways there will I it's difficult to rank. I'll say start online, right? Um, Start online if that would be the first place I would, like a lot of people you talk to them, and that's why one of the reasons why we have these sessions is just to educate people on what to expect inside, what it feels like on the job, what it feels like to be a DBA. A lot of people come in and they talk to us and they have no clue. The only thing they know is you guys make money, DBAs make money, they work from home, make money, I want to work from home, I'm tired of my job. That's it. I'm tired of my job, I want to make my money. That's it. That's it. All right. You've been around this guy, so you've been around a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. So people have any context of what database administration is, what cybersecurity is, what they just know cybersecurity, they make money, they work from home, I want it, which is good. Um, but if you're going to get there and realize this might not be for me, when okay, there's a whole variety of options you could have or options you could have chosen from before making an investment. If only you had connected with the right people, spoken to one or two people who are inside. So start with those you're interested in cyber, join forums online, join Facebook groups, heck, join LinkedIn groups, and just watch the conversation. Start from there. Ask questions there. There are groups, tech people in your city, whatever. Join, see what the conversations are looking like in there, ask questions, and people are nice. Human beings are generally willing to share on interests. I've seen that in most groups that I'm in. People are willing to share, how much. Again, because these platforms are free and there's so many of them, join and the ones that are similar interests, join cyber, join database, join, networking, and get questions. Connect to these live sessions that we do, and um, and ask questions in the comments, right? It's part of you becoming part of our community on our YouTube channel. So that's where I'll start from is follow, subscribe to channels like this, subscribe to connect, online forums, connect with those places and start asking questions, start following conversations. I'm in groups where somebody will post something and someone just go in the comment and comments following, just so they can see where the trend goes, right? And they want to get notified when, so those type of things have its value. So that's where I'll start from. And then when it's depend on where you are, um, don't be intentional about your network. So let's say you decide to come and take one of our programs, maybe do our database program. Make sure your mindset should be I'm invested in this not just to learn, but to connect. Right? I want to be part of what these guys are doing, not just I want to learn and go get a. That's not just learn and go. It is not, it doesn't do you any good. And so that's, change the mindset around networking, right? Be intentional about what you're trying to get out of it. And let that drive how you contribute to the conversation, how you show up, right? That's super important. And see where it goes. But those would be the quick tips I would give. And there's a lot more, but yeah, I'll stop there.
Okay, okay. We also talked about LinkedIn. We talked about using online platforms and forums and all of that. When we bring it to LinkedIn, since that's where most of the career professionals are, how would you say like a newcomer should optimize or use LinkedIn to?
On LinkedIn, right? Join groups on LinkedIn. There's different groups. LinkedIn groups are not the most active ones I've found so far. The networking on LinkedIn is one-on-one, for the most part. So but join groups again, that's where I'll start from. Some groups are well moderated, and that's a good place to start. And then find people who you have common who are where you. So like, so I want to network with other database administrators. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm going to find other DBAs on LinkedIn, and try to connect to them, but not those random connection requests without any formal introduction, right? Make sure you're putting out a message and saying, this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so you can set and let there be some common interests. Identify, don't just randomly pick any old person, right? If it's can be like our common interest or our commonality can be location, right? And I will send you a message on LinkedIn and say, hey Femi, I'm Nnamdi. I'm an aspiring database administrator. I'm looking to get into the market. I'm just looking to connect with other DBAs in the area. And I see you're in Atlanta. So I'm sending. So I hope we can connect. I feel like there's value here. You send a message like that, so they know the base of this connection is we are both in Atlanta. Right, it can be somebody who went to your alma mater, right? Oh, we both went to UNC Wilmington. Um, I see you're doing great. It's good. I'm really looking to do stuff like this, and I hope you're open to sharing a thing or two with me. Send that out. Let's see who bites, right? So that would be the LinkedIn strategies be, but don't just say. I mean, you can send 100 requests. It, the only thing is your chances are greatly enhanced if there's commonality. People have reached out to me before. I've reached out to people. People have reached out to me and said, hey, just new to the area, trying to break into the market, see what you're doing, just wanted to connect. And that's it. They like it's maybe they just want to be more, they want to be notified when I post something, they want to see it. So, and I accepted them because I see you're not a creep. You basically for our relationship or this relationship we're trying to start. So it's the same. That'll be the strategy is join groups that identify people and reach out. Let there be a basis for you reaching out, right? Let them know what your goals are. Be clear. Like I'm exploring the market. I'm a new DBA, just went through training. I'm trying to break into the market. Appreciate any tips. I see you're already doing it. I wanted to just say, let's connect. But let's be clear about what you're trying to, the relationship, the connection, and let there be some basis. And it might end up finding like, oh, me too. I'm just trying to break, don't mind this format. Right. So whatever it is, it can be, but just it makes sense to have that reach out intentionally. It's about intentionality, regardless of the platform. It's about intentionality.
Okay. I believe that time and don't want to keep it too long for everyone who is joining us today. So that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
So just as usual, make sure you're following us on all of our platforms. We always have something going on and stuff coming up. But if you're interested in any of our programs, please send us a message, send us a DM, send us something. We'll promptly get back to you, let you know. Um, that's, but we're excited to hear from you. And if there's questions you have around any of these topics, tech, database, other programs you offer, and you want us to do a video on it, send them in. Put them in the comments, and we'll be glad to talk more about them. So, but as usual, we appreciate you all rocking with us. So we'll see you all again, same time, same station, I guess.
All right, see you guys.